Hi there, Sandra with Brew City Thrifts. Today I'm at the Goodwill in Miller Parkway. The light's just really weird right now. I have not been here in quite a long time. It had been a little bit disappointing the last couple of times I came, but I took a break and I'm back, and you never know what you're going to find. So let's get in there and let's hit it. On one of the first shelves I walked to, I see this very pretty glass, amber glass compote or fruit bowl. It's big for a compote. I guess I would think it's a fruit bowl. Pedestal bowl with some coin dot, I guess egg-shaped imprints on it. I moved on. Could be Fostoria, but I'm not sure. Here are some pretty ceramic soup bowls. I'm not sure, I didn't quite catch where they were made. Kind of lightweight though, so I moved on. And down here, even though it's chipped, I noticed this Cracker Barrel set. Looks like 2 cups and a pitcher. Here's a pretty blue streak in clear glass. I like that look, but it's relatively contemporary. Down here, this is a pretty pattern. It reminds me of my pattern of China. This one's called Baroque Blue by Danielle. And then I notice these tumblers. They've got 4 of them here. And this is just, if I'm going to pick up clear glass, this is what I pick up, which is heavily patterned, sturdy clear glass usually. So these tumblers are all fitting those criteria, and so I'm putting them in my cart. I didn't know at the time, but they're Federal Glass, the Windsor pattern, and about 1970s. I'm looking at some older China sets here, and the first thing that I go closer to is this pretty Noritake bowl. I do like many Noritake designs. I will pick them up if they are striking enough to me, but there's a lot of it out there in the wild. Another pretty vintage looking bowl. This is by Crown Potteries. It is a USA made brand. On this lower shelf is a nice looking gravy boat. It is, I think, restaurant wear. The initials on the bottom are RW, and it's got nice lines. Not grabbing me too much though, so I move on to this little flowered plate. It says it's made by Royal Duke. Now, I could not find this maker. It may be wanting to be a Royal Dalton plate, but I couldn't find it. Anyway, so I moved on to these plates and this bowl. What I liked about this pattern is the florals with the detail around the rim. I knew they were vintage, and when I looked at the back, it's Johnson Brothers. Now, normally I pass up Johnson Brothers China. A lot of times it's the Vistas, and it's the blue and white and the red and white. I just kind of like the pattern, so I decided I was going to take a really good look at them, keep them in my cart, and think about it. Looking back at this Royal Duke plate, I do decide against it because I cannot trust that I know what it is, and also the same with this gravy boat. Over here in the mugs, I'm doing my slow scan, looking for hopefully some handmade drip glaze mugs. That was a drip glaze mug, not handmade. This one, however, is a candidate. Now, it's got very muted colors, and it's also pretty freeform. It could be a hobbyist piece, but I still think it's got integrity. I think someone's going to enjoy it. It is a one-of-a-kind item, so I'd keep it in my cart. I'm still on a mission to find additional serving platters in the clear glass section, so I'm scanning, but the one that catches my eye is this amber glass. That is pretty. That looks vintage, and I love the floral design there. So that, as long as there aren't any chips or cracks, is going to work great for a donation to my workplace. So I'm going to keep it there in my cart. Back here on the shelf, I notice this glass butter dish, heavily patterned, and that is one of my favorite patterns. That's a Wexford pattern butter dish by Anchor Hawking. I am happy to put that in my cart. I think that that is a very lovely pattern and a very serviceable butter dish. And glass butter dishes are something that I definitely keep my eye out for. I noticed this glass bowl with another wispy, smoky streak of cobalt in it. Here are some pretty blue glass goblets. They've got the coin dot or circular imprints on the side. They've got some nice patterns on the stems. Here is a ceramic pitcher. It's got matching wide-mouthed soup or just wide-mouthed mugs with it. Kind of a plain pattern, not too exciting for me. This has got more color. It's more contemporary, but it is hand painting. It's by Forsyth. Is that what did I read that right? I felt like I didn't need to have it. And on a lower shelf, we're seeing many different platters. This was a box of very heavy crystal, and I decided I didn't want to mess with it. Too heavy. Got a variety of items here. This caught my eye first. It has a very modern design, rather simple at the same time. Looking on the back, it did have a label that indicated an artist maker. I debated about it. I decided it was something that I didn't think was, I thought it was more contemporary and maybe more mass marketed than it looks. So I put it back. I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, let me know. That's $1,000 piece. Anyway, went back up to look at this crock. I like the texture on it. It looks like it might have a little age from the bottom. It wasn't marked, and I just was not in the mood for a crock for once, because you know I do like a good crock. And then I saw this apothecary jar looking piece, a little bit tall for one, maybe for pasta. We've got a piece of Italian glass here. Just a regular old shaker with a metal top. Not too much is really catching my eye. Here's a canister, but again, looking at something pretty contemporary. Little gravy boat here with an underplate. Down the bottom, I like the design of this. I believe this is World Market though. Yeah, World Market. Kind of a nice set. Honestly, I could see someone going for that. That would be great to have for a party for a variety of different foods or different relishes, but I moved on. That was a nice lidded casserole bowl there. And then I noticed this. Now, I debated with myself on this one too. If you guys know better than me, let me know. My question to myself was, is this as old as it looks? It looks mid-century. It's got the metal. It's got the wood handle. It's also got this very stylized design of leaves. The interior looked like it could have some age, and it was not marked on the bottom. So I don't know if it was a retro piece or if it was truly a vintage piece, and I decided I'm going to keep it in my cart and I'm going to think about it for a good long while. Among the tchotchkes, I am scanning for something unusual to catch my eye. Well, this is not that unusual, but it is a lovely piece of onyx stone. It is a stone apple with a brass stem on it. That's my kind of pickup. So it goes in the cart. Moving on, I noticed this little pomander. It's ceramic. Sometimes I like those. This is a matryoshka style mousse. That's a pretty contemporary owl figurine. Now, I liked this umbrella because it's wood. It's wooden and it's painted. It was tied closed. I might have liked to see it open, but I decided to leave it. This planter looks to have a little bit of age. There is a chip there on the back of the birdie. So I move on to, this is a piece of Australian souvenir art. Below it, a little ceramic mushroom, some bird figurines. I thought this wall pocket might be something. It's handmade. It is awfully chipped there on the flowers. It's a nice piece. It was signed, but with that damage, I'll have to leave it. It's a little ceramic egg. And then I see this. Yes, this is contemporary. And yes, when I look at the bottom, this is a Target piece, but I do really love wood items, stone items, natural items. And I feel like this is a nice style. This is something that is going to appeal to people like minimalist decor. And I decided I'm going to take it with me. Well, of course, I can't disappoint. You all are likely waiting for me to photobomb myself with my own finger. There you go. It's, I guess, my trademark now. No, I really apologize. It just sometimes happens. Anyway, looking at some tchotchkes over here that look like a potentially vintage bowl. And on another shelf I pulled down, this little guy. There you go. I just need to use my left hand. It is an August moon figurine. The designer is Dan di Paolo, and those usually go for pretty decent prices, so it goes in my cart. Here is a piece of hand-painted lusterware made in Japan. Sometimes these very detailed ones are a decent pickup, but I see that that one has a big chip, so it goes back on the shelf. I do like finding nice looking wooden boxes, so I'm in the box area when I notice this little caboose. It is also a music box and it's made out of wood. The maker is George Good Corporation. It does work, but I prefer the handmade wooden items by like local artisans, so that looks a little bit more retail. I decide I'm going to leave it. Thought this might be a retro wooden box, but it is not. Some big jewelry boxes on the bottom. Collector's plates sometimes have some hand-painted, signed Limoges, France pieces, so I do look through them. This looks like a toll painting, a wooden plate. It's nice. It could have some age. That looked like it could have potentially been enameled, but it wasn't. Yes, these are all collector plates. Of course, they do not resell for not for very high prices typically. But then there's something like this. Now I pulled these out and looked at them. They have a maker's name on them, Raymond Waits. I liked the design, but I decided against them at the time. When I got home, I looked them up, and I think that was a miss. Despite high shipping costs, I do relatively well with stone items, and this is a marble paper towel holder. It's a little bit wonky, but I'm guessing with maybe a new washer or a new screw, this should be stable. So I put it in my cart because typically that kind of an item is a good pickup for me. Took a quick look at this tin looking milk jug. It was contemporary. This had a vintage look to it. That minty light green is very 1950s in my mind, but I don't think it was really that old. Then I noticed this box. If these are glass, this is swizzle sticks. Glass swizzle sticks with a really interesting topper do pretty well for me. It is missing one stick, but for $1.99, I think I definitely can make a few dollars on that, and I just think it's super fun, so I am going to take those glass swizzle sticks with me. So the store is still not quite the treasure trove that it used to be. It used to be great for vintage kitchenware. I found some really amazing pieces here in the past. Not so much anymore. Still got a few things that we liked, a few pieces of vintage, and that's always good. Unfortunately, my phone battery is tanking. I went in there with 60% and I wasn't there that long and it basically died on me. So maybe it's time for a new phone, at least a new battery. So I'm gonna have to do an unboxing at home, I think, so you can see all the things that I got. Hope you had fun looking around with me. Like my channel, subscribe, and come back. Thrift on, we'll do this again. So here is my haul from today. Thank you for those of you who made it this far in the video for sticking around. My camera battery tanked and I was not able to do a cart review, but I did want to show you all the things I did take with me from Goodwill, and some of them were, you know, pretty fun finds for me. So let's start here in the front. This is a Johnson Brothers bowl, and the pattern is called Fruit Sampler. Johnson Brothers, I see it all the time, and I don't typically spend much time. It's a good vintage brand, but a lot of the patterns that I notice are ones that are more like their vistas, their pastoral scenes. I like this because I thought it was, the design is really very nice and just it's not as old-fashioned in some ways, even though it's definitely vintage. So I was really happy to find this, and then looking it up, it's definitely something that others collect, and I think I can move it on eBay. So I got that bowl, got these very pretty bread and butter plates. Oops, still a little bit wet from when I washed it. So yeah, so I'm giving them a try. Like I said, I don't usually pick up Johnson Brothers patterns, but this one really spoke to me. This is a very beautiful, can you see the iridescence? Jeanette Glass platter. It's an amber, a light amber color, and it's got that very pretty floral pattern on it. I did pick this up for work, but honestly, I'm really liking it. I'm not sure I'm gonna be able to give it up. It is really, really pretty, and it is vintage, and no damage or no quality problems. And so, yeah, I'm gonna have to think about that one. I might want to keep it with me. These glass swizzle sticks are glass. I wasn't sure when I picked them up at the store. I thought it's possible they were plastic, but they are glass. And what I thought was really cool once I was able to open the box, I don't know if you can see this, I'm sorry, I'm already really, let's see if I can get that in focus. The detail on the little margarita glasses is really nice. And it makes it a little bit different from some of the other swizzle sticks I see out there. I have picked swizzle sticks up in the past, and they do nice for me when they have a fun topper. And so I thought I would give that a shot, and missing one, but I still think I'm gonna find someone who might want those. So here we have, you guys know about my obsession with the Wexford pattern of glass, and it's because one of the things that I've mentioned frequently is I just love, if I'm gonna pick up clear glass, I want it to be heavily patterned. Sorry, I was a little bit out of focus. I want it to be heavily patterned, and this is a heavily patterned piece. Honestly, it's another thing I'm thinking I'm having trouble giving up. I do have a glass butter dome. Actually, it's a round dish with a dome. It could be a cheese dome or a butter dome. And it's something I've had forever, and it's an old Princess House piece. I do love it, but I do have some. I've kept some of my Wexford in the past, and I'm really tempted to keep this one. We'll see. This is a Target brand bookend, not that old, very simple design. It's got a little scuff there, but honestly, what I love about this is it is wood and stone. And I love things made out of natural materials. So this is something that I like. I like these kinds of things. It's not that old, but I would pick it up anytime. Moving on, we've got this handmade, no mark on the bottom there, hand-thrown mug. It's got kind of an, I would call it more of a primitive style. It's not signed, but hand-thrown drip glaze mugs do well for me. I think people like them because you know you're getting something unique. You know you're getting something one of a kind when you get a hand-thrown pottery mug. And some people, I think this just is one of the things that they're always on the lookout out for, because it makes their coffee mug collection really, really unique. Back here, these are just some quick pickups that I made. I think what drew me to them is that they're little trivets, but they have this up north sign. Here in Wisconsin, going up north is really a thing. A lot of us even here, I mean, people come from out of state to go up north. The big woods are beautiful. Here in southeast Wisconsin, in the Milwaukee area, lots of people have vacation places up north. And so I just thought they were fun. They are vintage. The artist is Pat Olson. I think he's known for, or she is known for, this style. I think it's called I think it's called Toll style of painting, and it's just very quaint and pretty. And I might use those as gift toppers, like put them on the top of a package for the holidays, or I might resell them. Got an onyx, another stone piece here, onyx stone apple with a brass stem. Again, this is the kind of thing I decorate with. I love onyx when it's got these striations and these layers and color. I just think it's super beautiful. So that was a fun pickup for me. And finally, we've got these Federal Glass glasses. These are tumblers made probably in the 1970s. I've got 4 of them, no damage. And again, I don't usually pick up these things, but the heavy pattern just drew me to them. And then this is the kind of tumbler that I like. And so these probably won't make a huge profit for me. Did I mentioned they're called is it the button and cane is the pattern on them. So going back, there you have it. There is my haul.